Chapter 47. When Hunter had walked far enough, he could see the tops of what looked like trees in the far distance. The water had been found. Where there were trees, there was water. He was thirsty beyond measure, but one of the things that werewolves were particularly good at was their personal denial of food and water. Their bodies were extremely hardy. They had to be. Over thousands of years, they had disciplined themselves to eat and drink very little, just enough to get by and remain productive. Any werewolf that became overweight, unless they were immobile from old age, was shamed by the tribe. And once a werewolf was shamed, they were shunned, and once shunned, it was a short road to exile. They were brought to places where they were meant to die from starvation or dehydration or both. As he came closer to the oasis, he saw the glint of open water and began to run toward it. When he was within 20 meters of the pool of water, he could see it was clean and not brackish. He laughed in joy and sprinted the remaining distance, knowing he was able to refresh himself in a matter of seconds. He put his head down, crawling on his hands and knees the remaining few meters to the water. It was a small spring bubbling up from the depths. Its water was cool, bluish-green, and tasted like the sky with a hint of fresh-cut grass. Hunter drank for at least a minute non-stop. He used his large hands to funnel water into his mouth. It never even occurred to him to look up, but when he did, he saw a reflection of a werewolf. Unfortunately, it was not his.
"Who are you?"
came a deep voice from across the spring. Hunter instantly composed himself, straightened his spine, and sat cross-legged like the stranger who had just addressed him.
"I am Hunter, from the Conquestrian tribe."
"Why are you here? You are certainly not overweight."
The stranger observed.
"It is a very long story."
Hunter began.
"Who are you, and why are you here?"
The stranger picked up a stone on the side of the small spring and tossed it into the perfectly calm waters, transfixed by the concentric ripples. Hunter waited.
"My name is Soren. I've been here for almost 2 years. I was exiled because I was a... Let me see if I remember correctly. I was a non-communal subversive. Yes, that's how they labeled me."
"What does that mean?"
"Exactly!"
Soren shouted, pounding the ground with both fists.
"But it meant something to them because I didn't choose to be here. I presume the same is true for you. Perhaps you weren't a non-communal subversive, but you were definitely something because they tossed you in here for a reason. What did you do?"
"Have you seen a dragon before?"
"Yes, plenty of times."
"Sea dragons?"
"Is there another kind?"
Soren asked. Hunter sighed, knowing that it would be hard to explain the presence of all these new creatures that began to manifest on the planet from literally nowhere. He spoke about the air dragon, the queen, Altar, Oriole, Swan, and the war they seemed to be locked into. The whole time Soren listened, not interrupting once. Occasionally he would smile or look upward to the sky. One time he put his hands to his ears as if shutting out the information.
"I know why they put you here."
Soren suddenly announced.
"You are batshit crazy."
With that said, he stood to his feet. He was tall, and if at one point in his life he had been overweight, he was no longer. If anything, he was underweight. By werewolf standards, he looked old, possibly very old. For most werewolves, you couldn't tell if they were 100 years old or 20 years old, that is, until they moved. Movement in the werewolf was the primary sign of age. As Soren stood up, Hunter could tell that he was old, very old.
"I'm a little crazy myself, owing to the fact I've been out here with nothing to do but to contemplate the universe, and if that doesn't make you crazy enough, there's the ghosts at night that'll do you in. And now it seems that the universe has brought me a story to chew on like a nice savory bone. Your story, as improbable as it sounds, is an interesting one. The conundrum it poses between power and free will is as old as our race."
"It's not a story,"
Hunter said, his voice low.
Well, if it's the truth, then I'm very glad I'm here avoiding all of this nonsense you speak of. The world has gone crazy, and now I feel like I'm sane, which speaks volumes of the state of our world.
Soren laughed to himself.
When did you arrive?
Today.
Hunter replied.
So you don't have a place to stay?
Hunter shook his head softly.
No.
Then follow me and I'll find you something worthy of your crazy head.
Again he laughed, turned, and waved his arm for Hunter to follow.